Picture the ultimate cinematic heist. You slip through a ventilation shaft, bypass a grid of laser tripwires, and walk away with $1 billion, all without firing a single shot. But real-world financial institutions are heavily fortified structures. To take their money, you have to physically conquer a vast, highly controlled space that is monitored from every angle. This scale comparison shows the massive physical footprint of $100 million in $100 bills. It illustrates a staggering logistical problem. Physical currency is incredibly heavy. $100 million weighs over a ton, which easily exceeds the cargo limits of a standard getaway van. Despite these sheer mathematical and physical barriers, the criminal underworld has successfully bypassed ultimate security. Historically, they achieved this by relying on 3 specific, highly coordinated blueprints. Examining these historic robberies reveals the extreme limits of human ingenuity when pitted against millions of dollars in engineered defense systems. The first method is the exploitation of chaos. A bank's internal alarm systems mean very little if the city surrounding it is actively burning. In 1976, thieves targeted the British Bank of the Middle East in Beirut. Using the active combat of the Lebanese Civil War as a shield, they systematically blasted through the bank's structural walls, while local authorities were busy fighting in the streets. Decades later, a similar vulnerability was exploited at the Central Bank of Iraq. Hours before the 2003 military invasion, Saddam Hussein's son executed a bureaucratic looting of the country's reserves, using the impending wartime destruction as perfect cover. The sheer scale of the Iraqi theft was staggering. Removing nearly $1 billion required a coordinated fleet of tractor-trailers just to haul away the physical weight of the paper currency. No vault door can hold when the geopolitical structure outside of it collapses. The second operational blueprint ignores the architecture entirely. It is a tactic known as tiger kidnapping, which bypasses impenetrable physical locks by psychologically breaking the personnel who hold the keys. During the 2004 Northern Bank robbery in Belfast, a criminal syndicate executed a synchronized strike. They invaded the homes of 2 separate bank managers simultaneously, taking their families hostage. The hostage-takers issued a strict ultimatum to their victims. The managers were forced to go to work the next day, act completely normal, and secretly empty their own vaults from the inside. This timeline tracks stationary hostage locations versus the active movement of managers emptying the vault. The syndicate coordinated this dual extraction over a tense 24-hour period. Through strict timing, they executed a simultaneous cash drop and hostage release without triggering a single alarm. The ultimate vulnerability in any multi-million-dollar security network is the human being required to operate it. The third blueprint demands an infrastructure-level engineering project. Overcoming a multi-ton steel barrier through pure brute force entry is mathematically impossible. Bypassing it requires an investment of time, labor, and logistics that rivals a legitimate business. For the 2005 Banco Central burglary in Brazil, a criminal syndicate rented a nearby commercial property and spent months excavating a 250-foot subterranean tunnel beneath the city. This dig required sophisticated logistics just to keep the crew alive underground. They installed independent lighting, heavy wooden structural shoring to prevent collapses, and a functioning air conditioning system. A similar degree of meticulous planning defined the 2003 Antwerp diamond heist. Operating right off a busy commercial street, thieves spent over 2 years covertly subverting early motion sensors and executing the cloning of physical vault keys to bypass the facility's layered security. These feats demonstrate how the most successful physical heists were essentially covert infrastructure projects executed by criminal engineers. Today, advancements in security technology have rendered all 3 of these historical blueprints functionally useless. We now operate under relentless, unavoidable surveillance. Biometric scanners verify identities instantly. Centralized 24-hour digital monitoring detects anomalies in real time. And automated time locks prevent even a willing, held-hostage bank manager from opening a vault door before the scheduled hour. The criminal underworld did not abandon bank robbery. They simply calculated that drills and explosives are far less efficient than malicious code. This chart weighs the high logistical overhead and capture rates of physical vault jobs against modern remote cybercrime. The data shows a clear shift. Executing a heist through a network carries nearly zero physical risk, while generating exponentially higher financial payouts. The golden age of the physical mega-heist is permanently closed. These historic cases remain as fascinating monuments to human ambition in a purely analog world.